What I'm using here is an economic model to answer the question, why so few choose to serve? And we're going to open this up with a few basic assumptions. The first is there is, for the sake of simplicity, one generic position in the military. There is only one position available. It's not admin, it's not infantry, it's not tanks, it's one generic position. The next is that everybody has perfect information as far as the cost and benefits associated with their service. The recruiters and all those other folk don't have any influence on these numbers at all. The next one is that the government holds the monopoly on the actual positions available. If you want to serve your country, you want to hold these positions, the only place you can go is the government itself. We're going to open up talking about just the basics of this model itself. You've got the wage line, and the higher up you go from zero, the higher the wage increases. The next is the quantity of labor, and this is the population of people who are able to work. So as you move along the line, that's more people who are actually able to work. The next is this demand for labor, and the basic idea is that the more the government has to pay, the less they're going to want. The less they have to pay, the more they're going to want. Now, the other line is the supply for labor, and that's the actual amount of people in this country, in this population of people able to supply their labor, that are willing to supply it for various wages. And that wage actually starts at zero. So you've got this population of people who, because of their patriotism and whatever else may influence their decision, they're going to supply their labor for free. And there comes to a point where this population of patriots is exhausted, and we need to start compensating people for their work. And that's where this line begins. And this line starts, and as it moves up, we find more and more people who are willing to supply their labor at a greater wage. Now, where the supply of labor line meets the demand for labor line, that's this intersection. And that intersection is what defines the wage. So that's wage one. Wage one is defined by the intersection of the demand for labor and the supply for labor, and that's what the government actually pays. And the L1 is the line where the quantity of labor is actually at. So L1 is how many people are supplying this labor. But we've got all these people here who are supplying their labor for what they consider the cost that they'd actually do it. And this would be the surplus income for patriots.